There's just going to be such a big difference between a self-defense training group that is like organized by trans people for trans people versus any old martial arts gym that is like all genders welcome but is really just like some cis guy who's got a crush on a they them student or something. So people are always asking me where they should go train, which is why Traction Project now has a list on our website. It's at bit.ly/traction list, and we would like your help making this list bigger. Endorsing other programs gets a little bit weird. I'll talk about that in just a second. But if you're coming to the Portland class that I teach, it's actually on the second Sunday this time. So that's August 11th. It'll be back to first Sundays again in September. Classes at 2 p.m. at Unicorn Jiu-Jitsu. But back to this, it doesn't really work for me to just ask a gym owner whether or not trans women feel comfortable in their gym, because everybody wants to be a good ally, so of course they're going to say yes without really saying how or why. And then I'm trying to decide whether or not to recommend that gym to another stranger on the internet. So Traction Project's list is more than just dates and places. It's also a rubric to represent the spectrum of what is out there so that you can all decide for yourselves whether or not this particular local training group is what you're looking for. So our list is only for LGBTQ specific programs. We're not bothering to list any places where like everybody is welcome, but they're really built for non-LGBT people. And this is also strictly for public groups. A lot of clubs are private for OPSEC reasons. We're obviously not going to have that information, so please stop asking. Beyond that, here in the green is accessibility notes. So like if a trans person should prepare mentally to end up sharing a changing room with someone who isn't LGBT. And the yellow section here is notes on whether the course touches on topics that are listed in Traction Project's recommended curriculum. This is like specifically for trans femmes who are BIPOC or sex workers. So if you're not that, don't worry too much of the program doesn't check all these boxes, but if you are that, maybe suggest to your local group that they figure out how to teach these things. And we do have descriptions of what we mean down here, so there's no question about that. And if you want extensive notes on what to study, you can see Traction Project's curriculum, which is free on our site. And yes, this is a not so subtle way for Traction Project to put a little pressure on other training groups out there to improve their programs in ways that we all want to see more of in the martial arts world, like encouraging more people to bring on BIPOC and trans femme instructors and admins instead of just relying on straight guys to teach us what they think that we should know based on some bar fights that they got into in their 20s with some other straight guys about non-LGBT issues. Anyway, keep in mind that this is all self-reported by these orgs. It's up to you to verify it. We're not explicitly endorsing anybody, even though we do really love some of the stuff that we've seen from afar. And definitely let us know if you know of a training group that is not on this list, that should be on this list, or if you're starting up your own training group.